Phil Spencer sat down with an IGN podcast last night where he said a few things that made some headlines concerning Scorpio. First off, he pointed out that they moved their E3 conference up a day so that it would give them room to breathe, which I think is smart because usually, even if Microsoft does make an announcement that makes headlines, by midday, everybody's already talking about all the other headlines that are coming out of E3 because usually the conferences are usually lined up back to back with everybody trying to top each other as far as the news cycles go. So this is going to give them several hours to themselves where everybody's going to be focused on Microsoft. And I think that also means that they're feeling really good about what they have to show since they do want the spotlight on them for a few hours. On the flip side of this, though, it could give Sony time to react if Microsoft does pull out all the punches in their conference. As far as thinking E3 is going to be all about Scorpio, which I was a little bit concerned about, Phil does say that he wants to keep E3 mainly about the games, and he teased some announcements that haven't been revealed so far when it does come to games, and he left open the possibility that Scorpio may get its own events. So he said trying to fit in the hardware and the games together at E3 is going to be difficult with the time that they have, so we may actually see a Scorpio event / reveal before E3. And there's been no plans made just yet, but listening to how he worded it, I'd say there's a pretty good chance that it's going to get its own showing. But he did point out, and I think this is important for people to get their kind of expectations in check, Scorpio is still within the Xbox One family. In fact, there's a rumor that it's still going to carry the Xbox One name. It may be like Xbox One Elite or Ultra or something like that, but it'll still carry the Xbox One name according to recent rumors. But he does say that they fully expect the Xbox One S to be their best seller long term. He said the Scorpio is made for people, as he puts it, who knows what a teraflop is, who knows the difference in 4K and the different resolutions, and who is a core gamer, and it's a premium product for those people, just like how the Elite controller is kind of marketed towards that kind of group of gamers as well. But the vast majority of the population is, you can call them casual gamers if you want to, but they walk into a store and they want to know what's the cheapest way they can play the games that they want to play. So a lot of people aren't interested in all the extra power, all the little extra accessories. So Microsoft is fully aware that Scorpio isn't going to be their lead console, at least when it comes to sales. And I think some people need to get their expectations in check for that. Just like how PS4 Pro isn't expected to outsell the PS4. It's made for a certain group of people. He also reiterated that developer freedom and how developers want to use the power in Scorpio is paramount. So if developers want to focus on frames per second, they can do that. And I hope devs understand how many of us care more about frame rate over resolution. I'm not saying disregard the resolution for those people who like it, but be sure that there's an option for the rest of us. Phil also left no room for confusion when he talked about the power inside the box. He said multiple times this is going to be the most powerful console out there on the market. He says that it's more than just a 6, and of course that's a reference to the 6 teraflops. He says whenever you look at memory bandwidth, whenever you look at RAM, there's just a lot more going on here with this box. He says that whenever you look at games launching and how they look on Scorpio, quote, for those close to the detail, they are going to see a clear difference from any console they are playing on right now. So, of course, that was obviously a clear shot at the PS4 Pro. But as I've been saying for a while now, most people aren't going to just run out to buy the most powerful console on the market. A console is nothing without the software, aka games to play. So as far as that area is concerned, he acknowledged that he understands people's concern when it comes to their first party lineup. He just is entering his 3rd anniversary as far as his position goes. And anybody who follows games knows that it takes several years in order to make a game. So we are entering the phase where we should start being able to see the results of the decisions that Phil Spencer has made. But he said, just as with any transition, they came in, they looked at where they were, and they looked at where they wanted to go. And that meant that they had to cut some ends that they weren't happy with where they were going to go. And so that meant cutting Scalebound, cutting Fable Legends, and he says they are reworking their first-party lineup. And he said the proof will be what they have coming out. So he said that they made some mistakes. He points to one of those big mistakes is revealing games too early, which he says is what happened with Scalebound. So you put a game out there that wasn't ready, it ends up getting cut, and then people get pissed off about it. So hopefully that means that games that they're going to talk about, they're going to be more careful about that and are more encouraged that it is going to be a game that they're happy with that is eventually going to release. So only a few months to go before we find out if he can really deliver. Overall, though, it was a pretty good, interesting discussion. And if you got an hour to kill, I'd certainly recommend listening to it. Links will be down below. That does it for me, The Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.